special good day to you and welcome once again to Grow with IPED. You know, IPED, we're everywhere in Guyana for everyone in Guyana. And yes, you know, IPED is spread across the country, Region 1 right down to Region 10. And you know, at IPED we say get going, keep growing with IPED. IPED is all about providing loans and business development services to you, the micro, small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. And don't forget, if you're a business entrepreneur, you can benefit from business development services from IPED's Entrepreneurial Development Center. And may I add too that if you're a young one and you're between the ages of 18 and 35, we have the services of the Guyana Youth Business Trust. And the Guyana Youth Business Trust is all about providing training to you, the youths out there, and funding as well. I want to let you know that as long as you would have participated in our entrepreneurship development training at the Guyana Youth Business Trust, you will be eligible for a loan of $800,000. Yes, so young persons out there between the ages of 18 and 35, I want you to encourage you to come forward and find out more about how you too can benefit from the Guyana Youth Business Trust. So it's on that note I want to welcome you to another program of Grow with IPED. And on my program this week, I'll be having a very interesting discussion, but let us pause here, go for an ad break, and I'll be right back.
Pursue a career in business and management or build your human resource capacity with diplomas and advanced diplomas from the Institute of Commercial Management based in the UK. Contact IPED's Entrepreneurial Development Centre. Our diploma and advanced diploma courses include business studies, project management, marketing, office management, human resource development and international trade. Affordable evening classes, qualified tutors, a comfortable environment with free learning materials and study facilities. Choose IPED and ICM.
Welcome back, and I want to thank you for staying tuned with me on Grow with IPED. And as I said in my opening statements, my opening remarks, I have a very interesting discussion and I have a very interesting person with me in the studio as well. And you know, IPED, even though IPED is in the business of recreating the spirit of entrepreneurship in Guyana, and we have been doing this for the past 28 years, we believe that the welfare of entrepreneurs is very important. That is why from time to time on this very program we have different discussions on different topics, different subject areas that we feel are of interest to you as entrepreneurs. Because remember, as entrepreneurs, not only your business should be of importance to you, but the welfare of yourself and the members of your family as well. And we believe that if your family, you have a happy and a healthy family, as an entrepreneur, you will definitely succeed. So that is why on my program this week, we'll be talking all about the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center and what the center does and how you can benefit from the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center. It's on that note I want to say a hearty welcome to my guest, Miss Cynthia Massey, and she is the Rehabilitation Officer of the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center. A hearty welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much for having me on the show, Indar.
You know, it's a pleasure having you. You know, when we talk about the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center, the only person who comes to mind is Miss Cynthia Massey. Miss Cynthia Massey is like the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center. Let us talk a bit about, give us a background of the center, how the center started.
Well, the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center started, 47 years ago, as the Polio Rehab Center. Because in the 60s, we had the poliomyelitis epidemics, and there were so many children who became paralyzed, and they needed to be taken out of their communities. So the center was set up so they can have surgery, they could have had braces for their paralysis and different services. So that was the origin of the Ptolemy Reed Center. But with our good immunization programs here in Guyana, we soon were able to deal with poliomyelitis. And again, with our good antenatal, perinatal and postnatal care, what we found was that there were a number of children who probably might have not lived before, were now living, but living with disabilities. So the center shifted its focus to children with physical and developmental disabilities. That's our main focus now.
And that has been since 1967, so I think it's 47th anniversary
47.
this year.
Yes, yes.
And going strong.
Going strong. As a matter of fact, sometimes I say that, we really should not be calling it the Tolmy Reid Rehabilitation Center. It's more a complex now. And as a matter of fact, we registered under the company name of the National Rehab Complex. But of course, people know us as the Tolmy Reid Center. So we continue to use that name for the services that we provide.
Right, so before we go further in our discussion, just for the benefit of our viewers out there, sometimes we feel that people out there, they know these things, but sometimes they don't. Very often it happens. Where is the center located?
I agree with you, even though we try to advertise or, our services, there's so many people who don't know of the Tolmy Reid Center. And it's very sad because with a child with a disability, the earlier you come in for intervention, the better the prognosis. So the center is situated on Carmichael Street, obliquely opposite the Bishop's High School, which is another good landmark, and very close to the St. George's Cathedral. So that's a very good landmark. That's where we found it. And the services can be accessed by anyone coming off the street. You don't necessarily have to have a referral from a clinic or a doctor, anyone. You can just come to the center. We prefer you to have a referral because with the referrals, you will come with a diagnosis. While if you come directly off the street, if it's something that we think we can deal with, we will. But then, we might have to refer you to a clinic or a doctor. So, we'd like all the doctors, especially the pediatricians, the health centers, everyone to know that the center exists and that, if you find a child who is not developing as you should, not going through the normal milestones, please have them referred to the center.
Any day of the week I can visit the center and seek advice or access its services, or it's just Monday to Friday?
It's just Monday to Friday. We don't have services on the weekend, even though we do have residents there, temporary and permanent residents there on the weekend. We don't have the outpatient services. It's Monday to Friday. And we tend to, if persons come in, we would prefer to have them come on a Friday because that's the day we set aside for the time to do proper assessments.
Okay.
Because that's something that, that is the first priority,
Right.
a
Very
proper
important.
assessment, deciding what is wrong with the child, and then planning the program for the intervention.
Right, so let's talk a bit about, we've talked about a bit about its background, where it came from, how it's developed today to be a complex and not just the Tolmy Reid Rehabilitation Center. Let us talk a bit about, what might be of most importance to our viewers out there. What are the services that the center offers?
Well, the main center that the Tolmy Reid Rehab Center will offer is the rehabilitation service, the specific rehabilitation service, which includes physiotherapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy. Like I said earlier, the child will come in, be assessed, and then a program would be planned for that child. We've been very lucky that over the past 10 years or so, because of our awareness campaigns,
Right.
parents and health professionals are referring the children at an earlier age. So they will come in, be assessed, and they will be admitted to our therapy program,
Okay.
which is on a Monday and a Wednesday. The caregivers, usually the mothers, but
Right.
we've been having a few fathers as well, which we're very pleased about, will bring the children. So they come on a Monday and Wednesday, and they will be taught what are the interventions. The bulk of the children we see are children with cerebral palsy, brain damage. So they present with problems with positioning and moving.
Right.
So they will go through their paces. The caregiver will be taught, because if you're only coming twice a week, it's important that the caregiver be taught what to do with the child while they're at home.
Mrs. Massey, let us take a pin there. Sometimes, we need to know, or we need to maybe make this clear. We talk about children. Is there any specific age group we're talking about? How young, how old, Is there a cutoff gap?
Well, the center says that we will deal with children from birth to 14 years.
Okay.
But like I keep saying, we we like them to come in, and sometimes we have the babies coming in at 3 months.
I don't know, maybe you have older ones
And then
too.
we have older ones as well, because some do fall through the gaps, so
Okay.
they might be coming in a bit later. But when they come in later, it's really to maybe access our special education school,
Right.
which is what we'll talk about later on. So the first area, though, is the therapy area.
Right. Okay.
And as the children grow, because the other thing that I should mention is that this kind of disability really is a lifelong disability,
Mhm.
and I think that's what parents need to know and accept, that this is something that they're going to be with for, for lifelong.
Right.
So they go through the first phases, and maybe by the time they're 3 or 4, they're now coming into the area where they need to work not just with their physical development, but their cognitive development. So then we will start them in our special education classes,
Okay. Mhm.
where they will start with what we would call nursery and play area.
Imagine at the center,
Yes.
viewers out there, at the center we also have a school.
Right.
Yeah.
Initially, we just had
You're
three.
talking here about nursery,
Initially, we had just 3 classrooms,
Mhm.
but early this year, we were able to commission our special needs school, the Harold B. Davis Special School, because I think because of the status and what the government has seen us doing, and accept that we are a thriving organization, the government provided us through the Ministry of Education a special needs school, which now has the 3 levels. We have a computer section to deal with play school and nursery. Then I think what used to be called prep. I'm not very good with the grades, but we don't use the grades. We say level
Right,
1,
level 1.
which is the very young ones who are now coming out of therapy, and they'll start with colors and numbers and stuff like that. Then they move on to level 2, where the older ones are, and then we have level 3, where they're getting on to primary kind of level training. What we try to do when they get to that stage, if there are those children who we feel can access mainstream school, we will try to have them transferred.
Okay, to the
And
mainstream
to
school.
mainstream. We've
Okay.
had a number of children doing that, and at the moment we have one young lady who is at the Stella Morris Primary
Okay.
School,
Mhm.
doing very well.
You're watching Grow with IPED, and here I'm chatting with Miss Cynthia Massey, Rehabilitation Officer of the Ptolemy Reed Rehabilitation Center. And I want to encourage you, viewers out there, to maybe come in. People can always come in and visit and see what the center does. I've had the privilege of visiting the center, and that special ed school, that special school, named after the long-serving chairman, the late Harold B. Davis. It's an immaculate school, It's a very immaculate school. It's a very wonderful initiative.
Can I say, in the new parlance, awesome, as everyone says.
It's an awesome school, and maybe it's actually patterned after similar schools in Suriname,
And other way,
And
and elsewhere.
and
Can
elsewhere.
I just add that,
Quite
at
true.
the commissioning, the Minister of Finance said that it can stand, with any other school in any other part of the world,
Right,
can
it's
be
comparable to-
comparable.
Mhm.
Yes.
Quite true, I've seen that. And indeed, we want to invite you, viewers out there, come in and see what the center is doing. Sometimes we pass by and we're unaware what is going on there. But in the center, there are many people there who are very loving and caring, children who needs your help. We're pleading with you, come in and see what you can do and help in what way you can to the center. So let us go back to the services. So you've talked about the
Okay.
special ed. What other services
We
do you
also have daycare services.
Daycare
services, because
What is a daycare service?
well, it's like any other daycare in the
Any
country.
other daycare.
Any other daycare.
I bring my
But what
kid in the
you bring
morning.
your kid in the morning, you pick the child up in the afternoons. Except that we also offer a service where they can be brought on a Monday morning
Okay.
and be picked up on a Friday afternoon.
Oh, so they live in the center
So they live
as
on the
well.
center for that week.
Now stick a pin there. This is so wonderful. This is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Now, people might be wondering and asking themselves, do I have to pay for this service?
No.
Do we have to pay the
No,
daycare
no, no. The daycare,
and the living?
all the services for the children are free.
Free of cost.
Free of
Imagine
cost.
that.